Hey folks, well, as you can see, I got some parts in lined up on the bench here. This is for the top end rebuild of my son's 440 fan cooled engine. It's the 98. The previous rebuild was done incorrectly, so I'll have to redo it. But whatever. It was about 200 bucks worth of parts with shipping and everything. Got the pistons, which are standard bore pistons. They come with the wrist pins and the clips to hold the wrist pins in. Bought some new roller bearings for the rods, the small end that goes on the piston, just because they're cheap. Got some new carb boots because the old ones, as I showed in the previous video, were cracking. They're actually two different brands, but they're the same part number, so they'll work. And a gasket set. Now this is a full gasket set, so it comes with the crank seals and that. So we'll see, I might replace the crank seals as well. So the first thing I'm going to do for this video is, I also bought a cylinder hone, and I'm going to just clean up the cylinders, even though they don't need to be bored out or anything. And the crosshatch is good. I'm just going to give it a quick little run through with that to clean it up so that the piston rings will seat properly in the bore to get proper compression. So I'm just going to chuck that up in my drill and use some the old-fashioned WD-40 and give this a clean up. Now before I do that, I'm going to clean all the gasket surfaces and that, just to be safe. So I'll get out my scraper and very carefully clean all these surfaces. You don't want to nick them because then gaskets don't seal properly. So I'll get those cleaned up and then I'll show you the honing process. I've never done it before, so this is the first for me too. So just hold tight and get these cleaned up and we'll continue on. Well, I got the surfaces all cleaned up pretty good. Believe it or not, well, I can believe it, but I actually found traces of white bathtub caulking silicone on the bottoms. I think when pistons were put in wrong and then it was taken apart, instead of replacing the gaskets, which I know they didn't do, they just tried to seal them up with a little bit of caulking, which baffles me. If you're going to do something right, just do it properly, or at least use some gasket making material, but I digress. So now I am going to fire this up and see if I can give these a light hone. There, you can see you can't see it in the video, but there is cross hatching in there. There's a couple little scuff marks that I want to take care of. So I'm not trying to resize the cylinders, I'm just trying to clean them up so the rings will see. So I'm going to throw some WD-40 in. I don't know if this is the best to use, but I've got to use something. And throw this in here. Like I say, I've never done this before, so bear with me. Now I got my drill on low, and you want to, what I've seen, you just want to slowly move up and down, in and out, to get a nice, I think, 60-degree crosshatch, give or take. So let's give her a go. That's unthreaded, there we go. Aha! I'm going to do it from the bottom side so I prevent that from happening. Try her again. Give her a go. A little more juice in there. The stones are going to probably soak up a bunch. Now I've got this set so it doesn't give it a whole lot of pressure because I'm paranoid, but and I got my drill. Pay attention, Corey. Got my drill on low speed as well. Okay, so another note to self, make sure you don't pull it out that far. And I'm learning as I go, folks. Try again. Maybe I need to get a little more pressure in there. We'll see. I can adjust the pressure with this spring. So, looking not too bad. I can see some score marks from where it was. Wear marks. Let's see. I don't know if you can see a few little wear marks in there, but not too shabby. I will maybe crank this down just a bit so I can get spring pressure on the stones. I'll just give her a little more, and I think she'll be good. Put the stones in the cylinder. So I don't want to go give it much because then the clearances become too loose. Now I know the fanners have a looser clearance to begin with, just because of the way they heat up and the temperature and whatnot. So give it a little bit more. Maybe I can get those scuff marks out, but I'm a little paranoid. One more shot. Almost out of WD-40. Seems to be working all right. Scuff marks by doing that, but I'm just going to hose it out, wipe it out with a shop rag, and we'll take a look. Then I got to keep it coated to keep the liner from rusting, because these have a steel liner. It's not a Nickel plated cylinder or anything like that, but the linings were actually replaced, and that's why got the stock size pistons in it. Yeah, pulling that out left a little mark, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm pretty sure it's going to run a heck of a lot better than it did before, where it was bare to start and low on compression. So hopefully she'll do the job. Maybe I will run that in and out quick once more, but that's what I was most worried about, is getting a crosshatch in there. Definitely surprised that a ring didn't break because of the way this was put together. Clean, and then I'll show you, and then we'll do the other one. Alright, you'll be able to see you can see that mark that the hone left, but it's just a surface mark. I don't know if you can see the way the light's shining. That way might work. If you can see the crosshatch in there. I cleaned up pretty good. That's very important to get a good seat your piston rings. So I'm going to dose it with WD-40 to keep that from rusting. Rub it in there good. I don't think I'll be reassembling this today because I have to, as soon as my wife gets home, I have to work on the Jeep. It needs well, it doesn't need the water pump replaced, but it does need the gasket replaced on the water pump. So I figured, well, you know, if I gotta pull the water pump off anyway, I might as well replace the water pump. So I was surprised. It was pretty cheap. It was only $55 for the water pump. So that'll be, I'll be doing that video as well today, maybe tomorrow, depending on how long it takes. Alright, let's get this bad boy honed up as well. fast, then I won't get a good crosshatch, I don't think. See a lot of gray in there, meaning it's taking material off, but I don't want much. Pulled that out while I was spinning, so hopefully it won't leave a mark. Let's clean this up. It's a good old brake and parts cleaner. Believe it or not, this John Deere stuff is very competitively priced compared to anywhere else, like Canadian Tire and that. It's good stuff. So, same with that big bin of rags you see on the bench. Oh yeah, so this one turned out a little bit better. Big bin of rags, 200 shop towels, and the bins are you can buy a new one. They're replacement towels to go in the existing bin. And why am I using a rag? And I can use compressed air. Blow all it out. So this one actually turned out good. There's one little mark in there. Oops, best. See the cross hatching. There's where I pulled the stone out. Now I see one mark which I'm not going to be able to fix. I don't know if you can see right in there, a little scuff, but it's at the bottom, so should be alright. So there, she's all cleaned up and ready to go back together. Now I'm still waiting, my wife's not here yet. Oh, she just rolled in, so I am going to stop at this point. The next video in this build series will be putting her back together. So until then, take care and talk to you later.